Good day to our respected lecturer, T.S. Dr. Muhammad Najwadi Yusof. My name is Karnisa Atira, and together with my partner Anna Ridwan, we are here to deliver our group presentation for digital forensics and investigations. Our case study focuses on the investigation of unauthorized access to a computer system. We will walk you through our case context, our core investigative goals, our tactical methodology adaptations, and the technical findings we uncovered. Let us first examine our case background. The investigation was initiated when an organization detected high unusual out-of-hours activity on an employee's active workstation, raising immediate alarms regarding a potential network intrusion. The system administrators flagged 3 core indicators of compromise: unexpected, repetitive login attempts, unauthorized access to sensitive files, and signs of potential data modification or deletion. To establish a rigorous, legally defensible framework, we bounded our scope strictly. Our included scope focuses solely on identifying, collecting, and analyzing internal system artifacts hosted directly within the compromised machine. We explicitly excluded physical suspect surveillance, external networking tracking, and the attacker's personal devices. This ensured our analysis remained completely rooted in verifiable local machine telemetry. As shown in this slide, before executing our methodology, we established clear main objectives to keep our investigation structurally focused and technically defensible. First, we set out to identify specific digital artifacts relevant to the unauthorized access indicators within the Windows environment. Second, we committed to preserving our extracted log data, specifically the security EVTX log, using cryptographic hash values to ensure strict evidence validation. Third, our plan required us to analyze the artifact inside autopsy to locate core security auditing structures. Fourth, we needed to determine if these extracted structures could reliably support timeline and authentication reconstruction. And fifth, our goal was to document all findings, environmental limitations, and future forensic recommendations in a highly professional manner. With these 5 clear benchmarks guiding our approach, let us explore the actual forensic workflow we deployed. Next is our investigation process. We move systematically through 6 established forensic phases. In the identify phase, we map out the suspicious access indicators and zeroed in on core logging targets. We then move to preserve, enforcing strict security controls to lock down the data layer and avoid any unnecessary changes. This brings us to stage 3, the acquire phase. We encountered a critical infrastructure hurdle during our lab capture. Our forensic workstation ran out of local virtual drive storage space. In real-world incident response, trying to force-write massive raw RAM dumps or full physical bitstream drives onto an exhausted storage volume will crash the guest operating system, truncate files, or severely corrupt evidence structures. Exercising engineering judgment, we adapted dynamically and executed a targeted logical acquisition. We bypassed full disk cloning to cleanly isolate and extract the most critical file, the Windows security event log, security.evtx. From there, we completed the workflow. We moved to stage 4 to verify the file integrity through hashing, and stage 5 to analyze the data layer via autopsy, and stage 6 to finalize our report documentation. I will now pass the floor to my partner Anwar, who will guide you through our cryptographic verification, low-level data discoveries, and core conclusions.
Hi, I'm Anwar. I will cover step from here until the conclusion. So for the key digital evidence identified and discovered in our stage 1 plan, several types of digital evidence were identified. This included the security system RAM, network packet captures, file system metadata, and browser artifact. However, during the practical work, we faced a limitation because the virtual machine had very limited storage space. Because of this, we prioritized the most relevant evidence for unauthorized access, which was the security.evts file. The security.evts file was successfully collected and analyzed. It is the primary Windows security event log file and is highly relevant because it may contain authentication records and security auditing data. Other evidence such as RAM dumps and network packets captures were planned but not accurate due to storage limitations. We documented this clearly as a limitation instead of making unsupported claims. So, from the collected security.evts artifact, several key findings were identified. First, window event log structures were visible, including strings such as L5, event, system provider, event ID, time created, and event data. Second, the hostname Nexus-like PC was recovered. This links the log file to the investigate Windows 10 forensic system. Third, the provider Microsoft Windows security auditing was identified. This confirmed that the file is relevant to security and authenticating auditing. Fourth, timeline-related fields such as event ID, event record ID, time created, and system time were present. This finding shows that the collected artifact is suitable for further authentication analysis. However, additional EVTX parsing is still needed to identify exact logging event. Now I will continue with the evidence integrity verification. In digital forensics, hashing is very important because it creates a digital fingerprint of a file. If the file is changed, even slightly, the hash value will also change. In our investigation, the extracted evidence file was security.evts. The recorded MD5 hash value was B32369 and so on, and the recorded SHA-1 hash value was starting with 3D813 and so on. These hash values provide a baseline for verifying that the evidence remain unchanged after extraction. However, for stronger forensics practice in the future, we recommend also generating a SHA-256 hash because SHA-256 is more robust than MD5 and SHA-1. So for the next, this slide shows the autopsy analysis screenshot. The security.evts file was ingested into autopsy version 4 as a logical file data source. Autopsy display low-level stat strings from the file, which confirm that the internal Windows event log structure was successfully detected. Some important identifiers were visible in the screenshot. The hostname identified was nexuslite._pc. The provider shown as Microsoft Windows Security Auditing. The channel shown as WAS Security. These identifiers are important because they show that the extracted artifact is related to Windows Security Auditing and can support further authentication analysis. So based on our analysis, several findings are supported by the evidence. First, security.evts was successfully extracted and preserved. Second, hash values were recorded for integrity verification. Third, autopsy identified Windows security event log structures. Fourth, hostname Nexuslite was recovered. Fifth, the Windows security auditing provider was identified. Finally, the timeline-related fields were present inside the artifact. However, there are also things that are not yet proven. The current evidence does not prove the specific identity of the intruder. It also does not prove the source IP address, the exact malicious logon event, the specific account name, or whether data exfiltration occurred. Therefore, our conclusion is that the evidence is relevant and preserved, but further EVTX parsing is needed before making a final attribution claim. So based on our investigation, we have several recommendations and conclusions. First, forensics next step, the security.evtx file should be opened in Windows Event Viewer or another EVTX parsing tools. The next analysis should filter important Windows event IDs such as 4624, 4625, 4672, and 4634. Event ID 4624 can indicate successful logon. Event ID 4625 can indicate failed logon attempts. Event ID 4672 can indicate special privilege assigned to a new logon, and the 4634 can indicate log off activity. The extracted event details should include timestamp, account names, logon type, workstation name, and source IP address were available. So for evidence collection improvement, the virtual machine storage should be increased before acquisition. Full disk imaging should only be performed when enough storage is available. And for the security recommendation, this organization should enforce stronger password policies, enable account logout policies, monitor abnormal login times, review privileged account users, and keep audit login enabled. So in conclusion, this investigation successfully preserved and analyzed the security.evtx file from the Windows 10 Forensics virtual machine. The hash verification supports evidence integrity, and autopsy confirmed that the artifact contains Windows security auditing structures linked to Nexus like PC. However, the current evidence does not conclusively identify the specific attacker's source IP address or exact malicious logon event. Therefore, our final position is that the evidence is relevant, preserved, and ready for further detailed event parsing. This investigation demonstrates the importance of proper evidence handling, integrity verification, and honest reporting of limitations in digital forensics work. That concludes our presentation. We would like to thank Dr. Najwadi for his teaching and guidance for our class for this term. Thank you, Doctor.